Show me this magic. Show me this magical 360 shatter. Let's go, Ryan. Let's go. Let's go. Here it comes. I'm sure this is a 360 shatter. Let's go. Let's go, 360. Yes. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. It's time for more OverAnalyzed, our beautiful Overwatch community coaching series. But that's kind of through the building. But before we do that, where the hell are we? What map is this? I think this actually is a really difficult one to work out because it kind of looks like Hanamura, doesn't it? But it's not, because you know what? It's Havana. That was a terrible reveal. Let me do that again. Because you know what? It's Havana. There we go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a support player. It's a Baptiste player. But the hero, yes, it does matter. OverAnalyzed does typically help the player, you know, based on the hero they're playing. But what caught my attention with this is not so much the hero or the rank. It's what the description says. And this is why you need to be as descriptive as possible when it comes to deciding how or why you want coaching. And what this player says is, first of all, they start off with like, hey, Sty, I've watched your videos for a long time. They've helped me and all this stuff, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. But this is the bit that got me. It says this player feels helpless. They feel like they really struggle with positioning, especially on the third point. And then goes on to say, these kind of games really demoralize me, and I need to know if I could have done something different. And I'm going to say this straight away, because it's something I think we all need to learn. Well, we know this. It's not really something we need to learn. There's a very famous captain of the Starship Enterprise, and he once said, he didn't say stop the payloads, don't know why I'm drawing around this. He once said it's possible to make no mistakes and still lose. That's not, well, this isn't entirely the quote accurately, but that's not a failure. Well, that's not your fault. That's just life. And I'm afraid you can make no mistakes and still lose a game of Overwatch because you are depending on these guys to actually help you win the game. And these guys, in fact, it should be a crime to ship a team-based competitive game with a solo queue mode. It's stupid. You need to be in a team of players that you understand. That's why it is a massive crime that Overwatch doesn't actually have a guild system or some way of you building friendships with people your own rank, playing together in the game, and then it would be so much better. But hey, maybe Overwatch 2 has got this. We've been asking for this for 5-6 years, so I don't know. Maybe they will. So yeah, you can make no mistakes and still lose. That will happen, right? So we've got to get that into our head straight away and just accept the fact that, you know, sometimes, yeah, we'll just lose a game of Overwatch because it's Overwatch. I hate to say it, it is literally Overwatch. So what we're going to focus on in this video is a lot of it's going to be on positioning. Now, the SR of this game, just before we get stuck into it, is 3,371. So it's a diamond game. It's not that far off Master, and I'm hoping we can help this player get to Master. But this will apply to everybody below this rank, and maybe even above this rank to some extent. But it's going to be positional-based stuff. And we're already seeing some good positional-based play here. You know, he's keeping himself safe. He doesn't want to get exposed. Because generally what we would see on this point here, if we look at the enemy team comp, is they will have some form of long-range hit scan, either an Ashe, a McCree, or typically you would see a widowmaker, and you've got to be really careful here because Widow, if she's, especially, well, we can see where that Ashe is there. That could be a Widow, could be an Ashe, could be a McCree, could be a Soldier, whatever. Could even be a Hanzo. But the problematic characters are definitely the Ashe, and more so the Widowmaker. They've just got sight lines all the way down here, so you've got to be super careful. You stand out in the open, you're going to die. So you need to play with your Reinhardt barrier if you can. You need to play with the terrain. The map geometry, typically with Baptiste and supports, you're not really going to be playing with your Reinhardt barrier. You're going to be playing with the terrain more. So using stuff like this to block your line of sight, which, you know, it's kind of a redundant point so far in this video because we're already seeing you use a lot of that. And we're taking up some nice defensive positions and everything seems fine. We're prioritizing healing our team. Again, I like this. I've not seen any crazy use yet of Immortality field. We do need to heal that McCree though. Yep, we're on him. Or was that a Hanzo? I don't know. Okay, let's pause and let's just take a look at the situation. I want to say the picture, but I said the situation picture. The situation. I mashed the words together. Let's take a look at the situation here in the picture. So I'm going to bring up the spectator overlay just to give us an idea of where players are and where we could be, because this is what I want to look at. There is a thing Baptiste can do, and all Baptiste players know this, and it is your passive ability. It lets you access high ground. We could be up here. In fact, there is no reason for us to be down here on the low ground pushing this payload. The movement of this payload is going to be okay in this scenario because we've got a McCree here, we've got a Hanzo, hopefully can come up the rear, and we've got our tank here on the front line. Our tank's not going to go any deeper than this, so it's kind of okay for us to exist on this high ground here. We've got D.Va here, played really well, knocked their Reinhardt off the high ground. Don't really know why the Reinhardt was still up there, but whatever, knocked off the high ground. So what this means is, if we are here, we can then move around and access this point here. This gives us a vision of everything that's going on. This gives us the ability to weigh up the situation, decide who needs healing. And that's what the game is all about when it comes to support. You need to have good vision of what's going on everywhere and a good access to supply healing. Now, because you're Baptiste, your projectile-based healing, yeah, you do have instant healing with your regenerative field, but it's not that great. You know, your burst healing is your alternate fire. You need to have vision and access and sight lines to your team. And so we should probably reconsider our position here. It's not inherently super bad, but we are still... I'm a little bit worried because we're kind of a little bit close to the enemy. I mean, we can still be killed if we're here, right? Or there. We can still get shot by the Ashe. Maybe the Genji comes after us. Maybe we get put to sleep by the Ana. These are all variables that we have to take into account when we play Overwatch, but we could be on the high ground here, and I don't think that's too harsh to go into detail on there. All right, let's jump back on board with you when I find the right button. Okay, so prioritizing our tank. Don't mind it. We get a kill, so this is good for us. So, in all of this phase here, our DPS, like our Hanzo's literally killed 4 people, right? So it's just like, lol, whatever. Or he's killed 3 people. It was fine. It was okay. We were winning the fight. Our team were running forward. It's, you know, I don't mind that we're so close to the enemy team. I don't mind that we're next to the payload and we're not on the high ground. I literally don't. It doesn't really bother me. So while we could be overly critical there and say, well, why weren't you up by the billboard or maybe jumping on top of the advertising hoarding thing, it's like, yeah. All right. So let me just explain the way this works. Immortality field. Because there's, I mean, I think you know how this works, but I think this is still crucial bit of learning here. So Immortality field itself, the drone here, needs to have line of sight to the player to give them the protection. So what that means is, in this scenario here, I believe it gets the D.Va just. But if the D.Va was here, this wall is blocking the drone. The drone cannot see you. You will not get the Immortality field effect. Now, this is a little bit deceiving, the design of the field is. So look at this. We can all see this around the outside. And it actually goes to here. So you would think, if I'm here, Immortality field's going to protect me. It won't, because it cannot see you. It's getting blocked by this wall. It will not protect you. There are lots of times where Baptiste players will be like, oh my god, somebody's come around the corner here, like maybe maybe our D.Va gets too aggressive, right? And our D.Va ends up here. And we're like, well, maybe not that far away because it wouldn't get. Let's say maybe our D.Va's there. And our Baptiste, rightly so, is like, oh my god, our D.Va's 1 HP. I'm going to throw in the drone to just keep her alive. It's fine, I don't mind you doing that. But then throws it here. And then it doesn't keep her alive and she gets demeched and she dies. And it's like, oh god. Now, on paper, this is the right thing to do because putting the drone behind the map, like any kind of line of sight blocker, is good because it's going to mean that the drone stays alive longer because the enemy literally cannot shoot it. But what this means for the drone is it can only actually effectively provide protection around here, provided it can see this area. It can't actually get into this area. So it is something to always be aware of with the drone. But generally, you do want to throw the drone behind something so it's got, you know, the enemy have to come up to it and literally kill it. Unless, like somebody in the example I've just given, are so far pushed forward, you do need to throw the drone at them. So always be aware of that. I think that's actually something which maybe not a lot of players really pay attention to with Baptiste. Okay, again, that was a crap amplification matrix, but amp matrix is... This might be slightly controversial, but I literally don't care if you just only amp matrix yourself and just sit behind it and pick people off with it. I literally don't care. Or just use it to get extra healing. It is something you can use for like a Reinhardt super fire strike. Generally just catch the enemy off guard. I mean, like, okay, so here we could like amplification matrix here as they pushed up and put more pressure onto them than where we did. But I'm still not really fussed. It's not a game-winning ultimate. So in very niche scenarios, yeah, it would be. But it's like, yeah, it's like whatever. I don't really care. Like, I like the fact we're prioritizing healing. I like the fact that we are generally playing safe. What I don't like is you're way too close to the front line a lot of the time. We need to capitalize on our range a bit more. Okay, we need to be careful. We just got hit. And we are playing safe. Okay, Immortality Field's down, but it's still going to be hard for us to survive that. But that was an okay reaction. I mean, just look at what's happened there, right? They have invested. I mean, it was Nano Blade. So we've got Blade going in. We've got... In fact, they're using a lot of ultimates here, and they've even burnt their Mercy... Valkyrie. I was going to say Vanguard. It's not that. But that would actually be quite a good name for a hero, wouldn't it? Vanguard. Anyway, maybe it isn't him for a hero. This Nano Blade, you're not going to stop it with your drone, but it's like... It's an okay reaction to make. So I'm fine that you've done that. You get a big tick from me. Kind of a tick from me. The teacher's happy. Well done. To stop that, it would require your team to just deal with the Genji. So as soon as the Nano Blade comes in, everyone would have to look at the Genji and try and take him out. Of course, it would be nice if we had beat available there to just sort him out with it, but we didn't. Diva Bomb can actually counter Genji Blades sometimes, but generally Genji can just get in and do damage before Bomb goes off. So whatever. So here, we're just waiting for our tank to go in first. Again, it's totally fine. So let's just take an aerial view here. Maybe not that aerial, but we'll take an aerial view because I want to kind of look at your position. We are going to focus more on it when it comes to the final point. I mean, so this is just bad. Like, our Reinhardt just straight up charges theirs into the wall here. How did we lose that fight? How did we lose that fight? Hang on a minute. This is going away from just looking at the Batiste player. So you can ask yourself again the question, why have I been shattered? Well. I'm just sort of standing here. So their Reinhardt's on the high ground. Then he's like, I'm just going in YOLO. And Reinhardt's on the payload. He drops down. I think he did. That looks like a 360 shatter. Hang on, we got to go back. Was that a 360 shatter? I think it was. Oh, no. Oh, no. We still should have killed him, though. Come on, Ryan. Show me this. Show me this magic. Show me this magical 360 shatter. Let's go, Ryan. Let's go. Let's go. Here he comes. I'm sure this is a 360 shatter. Let's go. Let's go, 360. Yes. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. Anyway, it might be massive, but it shouldn't have mattered. Like, our Reinhardt turns around. A Genji does come in. Nice grenade, though, off their Ana. That screws up our healing. Yeah, so it's basically a really nice nade off their Ana. It's nice. So what this actually is a slow reaction on our Immortality field. But it's a nice play by the enemy team. I mean, basically, all the enemy did is the Reinhardt comes in and drops a 360 shatter, and it knocks us down on the ground, which in itself isn't really that great. But what happens is Ana lobs in a nade that hits everyone, which is just crushing. But Genji crucially follows up, and he's going to get the kill on the Lucio. But he did enough damage to the Lucio when he was knocked down to allow him to get this kill. So this just shows you the value in Overwatch of following in. Like, you can't, especially if you're the tank player, the main tank player, you can't go and make a play and expect something to happen. You need your team to follow through most of the time to force that issue. And the enemy team did that quite well. Still, like we've just highlighted here, the problem we've got is you did not. I mean, where was your Immortality field? I mean, if we jump back on board with you, you know, we're going to the fight fresh. We've got all of our cooldowns available. The enemy team's on the high ground. You know, we're staying relatively safe here, but we're still, you know, whatever. We could, you see, like we could be above on top of the I don't know what they're called. They're like fermentation tanks. It's a brewery, isn't it? This on top of the copper tanks we could have been, but we're not. Yeah, we get hit with this. We're knocked down on the ground. Our first response here has got to be Immortality field, and it is. So maybe it's a little bit harsh on me, but you could see the Reinhardt was coming in from above. We should have just droned straight away. He's going through the Earth Shower animation, right? Maybe that's a little bit harsh with me, though. But, hey. This is a really good engagement from the enemy team, though, for reasons I've just outlined. And for the simple fact they've used what is honestly now a pretty low-value ultimate. Goodbye, McCree. Low-value ultimate. And they've pretty much won a fight here. It's a bit messy, and we are still getting payload percentage, but we're going to suffer here. Like, we need that drone fast. Oh, we are lucky. So you actually, that's nice restraint you showed there. I was really worried, and I probably would have droned there, and it would have been a waste. Now we need that drone. Okay. So that drone was mega value. Mega value. So you can see, like, I mean, that encapsulates how difficult it can be sometimes with cooldowns that are as powerful as Batiste. So I would have probably panic droned the Reinhardt when he was 1 HP. Well, he wasn't 1 HP, but when he was low. But you didn't. And that allowed you then to counter a Graviton Blade. And that is massive. Like, that's huge. Like, that is absolutely huge. And it is, again, something we should probably talk about when it comes to ultimate tracking. Because at this level of play, you do really need to be aware of what enemy ultimates are going to be available. Especially when you're playing Batiste and you do have Immortality Field, which, you know, this is a broken ability in Overwatch. It's a stupid ability. I don't know why they think having an ability in the game that just prevents you from dying outright is just fine. I mean, it's so weird to me. I think the issue is that if it's just a damage reduction field, as they did with the April Fool patch notes, then it just descends into, like, what's the point of having it? Like, it's not as impactful. But the fact is, this is an ability that just straight up stops ultimates. And what we've seen here is a Grav go in, which is a high value ultimate, and we've seen a Blade go into the Grav. And we've just, you know, it isn't just us that's completely nullified it. Obviously, our other players on our team have had to do the damage and had to take out the Genji. But this has screwed him up enough. Like, it means he can't kill them without focusing on the drone, and it's just so powerful. Things need to change with that. Like, I don't know why Blizzard haven't changed that yet. But, Okay. There we go. I'm getting really confused as to what button to press. Hang on. There we go. It's because I've got this new goddamn keyboard. All right. Okay, I don't have my camera on, so I can't show you guys. But I've got a really small keyboard that doesn't have a numpad on it anymore. And doesn't have F keys. So it's really small and compact. It's really great for gaming. But for stuff like this, I don't know. And for video editing, it's trash. But I don't know. Maybe I end up going back. Okay. So if we just pause here and we get ready. Because the email specifically says, I have a problem with positioning on the third point. And these type of games really, really demoralize me. Okay. So I think the crucial thing here is if you look at the enemy team, look what they've got. They got a Widow now. Okay, that's fine. So it was always going to be difficult there to keep that tank alive, but you have identified the Widow because we are using this turret. We're respecting the Widow. Like, I mean, it goes without saying, right, on this point. We all know that this is a very strong Widow point. It's a very strong Widow map on first point and second point. Widow's sightlines here are just redonkulous. Like, it's, again, this is like one of those things where you're just like, Blizz, who, where's my mouse pointer? Where you're just like, Blizz, who in God's name thought this would be a good idea as a point on a map? So you always typically see Widowmaker chilling there. Now, what we've got here, which makes it doubly dangerous, is it's damage boosted. So it doesn't really need those headshots to take out squishy targets. It can wreck them with body shots. The Ana's sitting at the back nice and chill. But we don't really care about what the Ana's doing. What we care about is what this Widow's doing, because Widow sees everything. You can only hide behind this. The only other place you can really hide behind is the payload as it moves forward, or you can hide here. But you still really can't hide there because Widow can still get you if you peek out to try and heal your team. So it's very difficult here to deal with a Widow. Now, in the email, it does you blame the tanks. Now, this is something I want you to get away from. I really hate it when you blame other players on the team. Like I said, it's possible to make no mistakes and still lose. This is Overwatch. It will happen. You can't sit there and go, the only way to deal with this Widow is if we've got a Winston that can dive on top of her. Or if we've got a Diva that can dive with the Winston. We've got a Reinhardt in this game. So, oh, blow me, we can't deal with this Widow. We're just going to feed into her. Now, I hope I'm assuming what happens here is our team just get annihilated by a Widow over and over again. So we're kind of trapped here. But we are moving the payload still, so it's not too bad. There are two tanks coming behind us. The rest of our team are going to get picked off. Widow's already got an ultimate, which kind of says it all, the amount of impact that she's had. Okay, so let's jump back on board with you. Okay, so we've got to respect the Widow. That's the name of the game here, respect the Widow. And we are respecting her at the moment. The Ana from the enemy team is playing really well, landing some really nice nades on the front line. And that, again, is something Ana players should do. An offensive grenade wins fights. A defensive grenade as well is really good. It can hit your team and get like massive healing. But hitting the enemy with a nade is so powerful. Remember as well, you can hit it off the side of walls and cause like splash to go above Reinhardt barriers and stuff like that. So it's a really cool ability. When it's used offensively, it wins a lot of games. And it's the difference you often see with like a Platinum Ana and an Ana that's maybe Masters and above. Well, Diamond, Masters and above, because they use it offensively as well. So the Ana's playing really quite well on the enemy team. But we're respecting the Widow here, so there's not really too much to talk about. The problem, I mean, whatever, right? That Reinhardt came around the back. We just disengage. The enemy are playing quite aggressive here. Again, it's like whatever, it's fine. We are playing quite safe, so I don't really see what your issue is at the moment. You're playing okay. Your positioning's okay here. We're making sure we're not exposed to the Widow. Okay, waiting for our tanks to go. We didn't really need the regen field there. So this is something we want to try and avoid here. And it's what I was kind of hoping I wouldn't really see, is you just tried to take out this Widow. Now, okay, maybe if she, you know, that little bit of extra damage might take her out if I don't know, a Hanzo body shot comes through on her or something. But while you're trying to engage the Widow, she is at a major advantage compared to you. Because you're exposed, you're looking at her. She only needs to shoot you once with a charge shot and you are dead. Because she's got a mercy pocket, so you've got to be aware of that all the time. And it's really worrying to me that you kind of went for that. Now we're kind of feeling a bit disconnected, I think. Nice-ish shatter. Prioritize healing. Yep. Okay, Widow again getting a bunch of kills. So I think what I'll actually sum this up is, look, let's go on board with the Widow. All right, let's just watch the Widow for a minute. So damage boosted. good timing. So she's damage boosted, but she's got mercy for the res. Our team are doing okay, actually. We're on the payload here. Now this is where it's going to get difficult for Widow to get much value. Nice kill, though. Again, like I seem to be saying, it's like if you ever watch professional Overwatch, it's like they cast a curse, you say something, and then the opposite thing happens immediately. It's like... But nice kill. You know, nice grapple shot that gives the tank time to get back. Now she should be waiting, thinking, again, great kill. Going to be looking at you coming back from spawn. She should be now. Should be expecting you to come back. The problem we've got, though, is because she's damage boosted, she's doing incredible amounts of damage. And she's, obviously, if she gets killed, she can be rezzed as well. It's the mercy pocket, which is just incredibly powerful. Now, I think there is, and also, I mean, look at it. It's level 29. This is a Smurf, probably, right? Well, can you call them Smurfs? It's a new account that's just playing ranked, and it's playing with its Mercy friend, I'd imagine. So let's just take a look at this. What? The Mercy account's not that new. Yeah, it's a bit Smurfy. It's a bit whatever. I don't think it's hacking or anything like that. But the thing is here is we want to look at... I don't know, like, I guess it's a difficult one. Like, I really sympathize with what you say in the email, that you feel like your team are not really dealing with this Widow, and this Widow's just doing what it likes. It is true to some extent. Okay, we've got a Winston now, but, like, Winston diving up there, it's going to be... The Doomfist is actually coming around the back now. Yeah, Winston's going in, but he's going in against the Doomfist and Mercy and a Widow. He's probably going to get killed. Yeah. So it's actually good play by their Doomfist there. Okay, I don't mind that. That's pretty good. Nice nano, though, by the enemy team. Widow's just above farming. A lot of ults getting used, so it's not too bad. I mean, they've used nano, they've used grav. Widow's still doing whatever she likes above. And they've used shatter. Again, we don't really mind about that. Like, we've lost this fight and we're dead anyway. So we don't really care too much about... See, this is the thing, right? You've got to take positives out of every situation. And this applies to more than Overwatch, but... They used a load of ultimates there. It's like, yeah, we lost the fight. Yeah, it's frustrating. But we're still going to have another go. It's going to be desperate. We're going to need to get up there pretty quick. But we still have another chance. So Winston, yeah, Winston should be able to get in. The Dragon, oh, that's unlucky. The Dragon should help. But, yeah, this is just, well, you know, I was expecting to be able to see a lot of situations where you overextended, where you were out in the open when you shouldn't have been. But to be honest, you actually played okay. But that Widow player was really good. That Widow player clearly is a smurf. That Widow player has a mercy pocket. It is going to be incredibly difficult for you to do anything against that if she keeps getting pick after pick after pick. And it's not your fault. It's the game developer's fault. Because this point of the map is just, it's just terrible. Unless you're a widowmaker player. Or some sort of hit scan. Because just look at it. You know, I think sometimes with Blizzard, they prioritize a little bit too much making things look nice. Like, oh yeah, Havana's nice. Oh yeah, Paris is a nice looking map. Oh yeah, Horizon Lunar Colony is arguably a nice looking map. In fact, it's a really nice looking map. But it plays like trash. And it's like, there's bits of the map that are okay. Like this first point of the map is arguably just as frustrating as the third point. Not as much because there is another, you know, you can get close to the enemy team. Close to the position that you're actually in right now. Where you'd expect the enemy Widow to be sitting, just farming people as they come through. So it is weird. It is a weird one. And also, Widow is incredibly powerful when she does have a pocket. The same would be so if that was an Ashe at the final point there, just firing away. Can't really do too much about that. Okay. So now the enemy team are rocking a... they've gone back to the Genji. Well, they do have the Doomfist, though. So all we're looking to do here is just not expose ourselves to the enemy team. At no point do we really need to take damage from them. We should just be in a nice position. You see, like, all of this jumping around and, like, all of this in the fight. Do we actually need to be here? Can't we be on the high ground somewhere? Like, can't we be here, right? And just throwing in healing to our team from here. Now, I know you might be too far away for your regenerative field, but you can just jump down if you need to use that. Our primary healing should be enough, or our alternate fire. Because we can also throw drone in from this distance, yeah? You know, being on here would be a bit silly, but we don't really have to be like here, jumping about, because we're inviting stray damage to come in and hit us. We don't know what the enemy team comp is just yet, although we're probably becoming aware of it just now. But yeah, I'd always hesitate a little bit just to be, well, you know, standing in the middle of the team. It's a little bit... you're exposing yourself for no reason, which is never a good thing to do, and it's highly illegal in a lot of countries around the world. Yeah, well, we've lost our front line. It's going to be really difficult to get any results here. Nice kill off our Lucio, though. It's disengaged. The name of the game here is disengage. We overstayed our welcome. We could have disengaged more there. I'm not saying you get out, but we could have disengaged more. We might have got out as well. Regenerative field came back, and we were walking back towards our reinforcements, and our main tank has just got a kill on their main tank. So we should have disengaged there, and we didn't. I think that's probably part of you just sort of... It felt like you gave up a little bit there, and I don't want you to play like that. Like, there's just no need for it. But the enemy does have a frustrating team comp now with the Doomfist, because it decent immortality field, because the Doomfist is going to cause problems when he starts getting picks, and he's not really being punished. We don't really have any... Well, we do have the McCree that could maybe look after him, but it's always a bit of a fallacy of Overwatch where it's like, oh yeah, just get a McCree and you kill Doomfist. It's like, yeah, but the McCree still needs to flash him and shoot him. You know, and there's a lot going on here. There's Genji as well. This McCree on our team is being overloaded. And I'd... Well, you know what? Our... you know what? I was going to be a bit harsh there on the Torb, but I don't think the Torb's actually too bad, to be fair. Torb is not bad. I mean, he's not the best pick here, but he's not bad. Okay. Again, fine. But what I'm worried about now is the enemy ultimate. So we win this fight, and we should maybe... Well, I say should. We maybe get our drone back before they engage again. I hope we will. We should do. Because what we're looking to do now is deflect the Graviton Surge damage. Well, not deflect it. You know what I'm saying. Nullify it. Nullify the Grav blade combo, which is going to come through. It's probably going to be a nano blades because it's going to come straight in here. Yep. Here we go. Nice off our McCree. Really nice off our McCree. Good reaction. And we get a lot of ults there. The enemy team blew their trance as well. So that's actually really good for us. That is a super good engagement and really well played by you. Good reaction to get that drone down. We should win this. We'd have won that if you shot her in the head a few more times. That is slightly annoying, but our Reinhardt should kill her. Or she kills herself. Or she kills herself. It's all good. It's all great. I love it. Oh, no. Well, everyone's getting destroyed here, so we just need to think about who we can keep alive, right? We just need to chill here. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to push us forward here. So we've got to be careful. We need to wait for our Reinhardt, which we are doing, which is great. In goes the Rhine. Great. Our team are playing really good. See, so I just want to, like, your email says my DPS were tank players flexing there. They had no clue how to contest Widow. These kind of games really demoralize me. These tank players are playing okay. Like, these tank players and our team are playing okay. Waited for them to get together, and then we pushed out. There was nobody running in like some crazy Rambo trying to get some sort of magical play. This is ideal. This is exactly how we want to play, because from here, we can look at putting down our amplification matrix on the, you know, literally through the window there and just shooting down to the enemy team. There's a lot of options we've got here. And we do that. We could have helped Zen there, though. It's something I've noticed that you haven't really been doing throughout the game, is looking at your other support. It's something we probably should be doing. Actually, this is going to be a really good fight to break back down again. So watch this, right? We'll watch from your perspective as well. Amp Matrix goes down. Just look at what we see. We see Genji dash, but we just ignore him. We could have threw our Immortality drone through the window there, maybe kept Zen alive, and then ran around and helped him. Instead, we wasted time firing into a barrier. And, you know, there's no value in that. So this is the thing with OverAnalyzed, right? We can keep going back over the same fight over and over again and just highlight every mistake. But a lot of the time, I don't think it's really necessary to highlight every mistake. If you catch a few of the mistakes every now and again, I think players relate to that more. Like, you can see there, through that play, it was not the right thing to be firing at the barrier of Reinhardt. It was just, what were we doing? We were trying to get damage from amplification matrix. So it was logical, but it was not the right move. Okay, so we're going into the final phase here, and enemy team comp, they've got a Hanzo, it could be frustrating. He's getting pocketed as well, but whatever. We just need to... Oh, he's dead. We just need to respect the arrows, basically, because, like, look at the enemy team. The only thing we need to respect is random arrows. When Hanzo's dead, we can just go out into the open now. Within reason, right? We don't want to just be out in the open taking damage, but you get what I say. We don't need to be as defensive minded. But Hanzo's back now, so we've got to be careful. We always want to keep a wall between us and the Hanzo, which we can do. And we should do. That Reinhardt's going for a mad shatter, right? No, he doesn't have it yet. Amp Matrix? Why are we not Amp Matrixing? What was that grab? Respect. I respect that grab. So, we got part of the reaction right there. I mean, our Zen... It's good that support changed to a Zen for this round to deal with the Genji. Ultimate with Trance. Obviously, a nanoed Genji is still going to burn through it, but... your reaction was half there and half not there. I mean, we dropped down the drone, which was fine. But we should have just went straight in with amplification matrix as well. And then just sort of pumping healing through or firing through. Because that fight, it was going to be a big fight. Yeah? It was... You could see that was going to be the final fight in the game. Ultimates being used. They only need to win that fight. And if they do, then they push forward and take it. You've got to invest your ultimates there. There's no reason not to do that. But yeah, I think overall, you're a good player. It's just positioning problems when it comes to being almost too close to the fight, which we're seeing a hell of a lot in OverAnalyzed, especially when you're a hero that can access the high grounds. We didn't really see you operate from any high ground at any point when you could have done. You were always on the ground, really close to your team. And of course, this makes problems with Genji coming through with a blade, because he's obviously going to be able to access you really easily because you're in the middle of the team, even though you can drop Immortality drone and whatnot, not to mention random damage coming through. But I think a lot of the issues here, I don't think they're gameplay related. I think they're honestly, it's just mental. You should not be, you need to be in the right frame of mind, right? You should not be looking to blame tanks because they were DPS players. I mean, how do you know that? Like, did you ask them? Did you say, what the hell, you tanks are terrible, you DPS players? And they went, yeah, with DPS, lol. Or did you just presume they were? Like, yeah, I think it's just this is just one of those games where we just go, okay, fine, and we just go again. That's literally all you can do here. All right, guys, thank you for watching the show. So what I'm going to do now is give a shout out to everybody who is a member of the channel. Now, to support OverAnalyzed, what you need to do is go to the button below this video. It says join. If you click that and you join at the STI value or above tier, you'll get a shout out at the end of these videos. Now, I might change the shout out thing at the end of the videos to maybe putting your names up on the screen or something, because it gets a bit long. I just start shouting everybody out. But I'm just going to go for it. And, well, let's do it. Thank you guys for all of your support. And here we go. Jessica Waitley, Juan Robinson, Eric Diaz, Gio Ying Yang, Charlotte James Maguire, Matthew Beeson, Brittany Laura, Bandarandadi, Lily, Josh, Jace, Ray, FNA Gaming, Will Huazer, Matthew, The Ordinary 1%, N Weather Service, I should say, Colin Sullivan, Martin Sispergi, Shawl, Slade, Skinny, Martin, Ryan, Tony, Todd, Taraja, Marcus, James, Bad Larry Bird, Grudoin, Samuel, Qbert, Brigar, Sarah, Julian PP, Razili, Fixnix, Adam Lavin, Espresso78, Zig, Charles Crane, Christopher Penn, Carl Bruweiler, apologies, Electropuff 12, Roast Beef Guy, Michael Sandman, Robert Samashak, Beast 46, and Potion Man. Thank you for your continued support, and I'll catch you, lovely lot, on the next video. Good luck.